Hello, welcome back. Like I said in an earlier video, when we do these heavy videos like wages and the moon landing and all, sometimes you need a break from that. And I'm bringing you one of those today in the form of the story of the Abernathy brothers. Lewis, or Bud as he went by, Abernathy, was born in 1899. His younger brother, Temple Abernathy, sometimes or usually went by the nickname Temp, he was born in 1904 in Tipton, Oklahoma. Their dad, Jack, was a cowboy, and then he became a U.S. Marshal. So Dad's traveling all over the place. I can't find a whole lot of information on Mom. In 1909, these two boys rode horseback from Oklahoma to Santa Fe, New Mexico, by themselves. Lewis was 9, and Temp was 5 years old, by themselves, from Oklahoma to Santa Fe, New Mexico. In 1910, they rode horseback from Oklahoma to New York City. They wanted to see Dad at work, I guess, and paid him a little visit. You know, we're just going down to the office, see Dad while he's working in New York, from Tipton, Oklahoma, on horseback. They also wanted to meet Teddy Roosevelt, then president, and he was returning from a trip to Africa and Europe. When they got there, they were treated like celebrities. They got to ride their horses, the same ones that brought them to New York City, right behind the car that President Roosevelt was in. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. How were these boys getting there? I don't know. Well, I mean, on horseback, obviously. They had to be sleeping in barns. I guess a lot of camping. Probably some hospitality of some strangers, you know, to see two young boys on horseback. It's like, where are you headed, boys? Oh, New York City. Well, where did you come from? Oh, Tipton, Oklahoma. What in the world? The trouble with that is, where the hell are the parents? As an adult, you got two strange boys coming up on horseback. I'd take them in. Get in here, boys. You got to be hungry. Let's get you something to eat. Get you a little bed set up, a pallet, as they call it in the South. Crash in the corner. You can crash in the barn if you'd prefer that. You know, take it easy for a minute. Where are your parents at? Once they got in New York, and I assume visited Dad, and rode in the ticker tape parade behind President Roosevelt, they somehow had the cash to buy a brush motor car. This was like a car company at the time. And they drove themselves back from New York City to Tipton, Oklahoma. The horses got shipped on freight, on rail car, back home to Oklahoma. By this point, they were aged 10 and 6. By 1911, they were planning another adventure. And somebody issued a challenge to them to ride from New York to San Francisco, California in 60 days or less. If they did this successfully, the prize money was $10,000. This is 1911, mind you. The boys promised not to sleep or eat indoors at any point on the trip. 10 grand if they completed this trip successfully. At this time, they were aged 11 and 7. Clear across the country now. Got to make it in 60 days for this prize money. They made it in 62 days. So they didn't get the prize money. Got a lot of press. In 1913, they bought an Indian motorcycle. And with their stepbrother Anton, they rode from Oklahoma to New York City again, but this time on the motorcycle and with the brother. Where is Mom at? How is this being financed? They're buying a car. They're buying an Indian motorcycle. What are we doing here? There's a lot of gaps in this story. I want to know where Mom is. You just okay to turn these boys, young boys, loose. I know it was a different world then. You assume that if they weren't mature when they left, they darn sure were when they got there. That's going to age you. Put some responsibility on you. On horseback. What if one of the horses died? What if they both died? Now you're on foot. I don't know. I mean, they had the money to buy a car once they got to Oklahoma City. I assume you buy more horses. I got so many questions about this. Now, Lewis ended up becoming a lawyer. He graduated from Oklahoma School of Law. He practiced in Wichita Falls, Texas, and died in 1979. Temp worked in the oil and gas business, and he died in Texas in 1986. You can look these guys up. They lived long, apparently prosperous lives. But my God, boys, a 5-year-old boy is riding by himself on horseback. And the parents are okay with this, I guess. Did they run away? Help me understand. I think it was Temp's wife. No, it was Bud's wife. Ended up writing a book. I think it's called Bud and Me, The Adventures of the Abernathy couple. Talking about a little bit of this, but mostly about their time together as a married couple. They were married, I don't know what, 50 odd years, something like that. To me, it's not worth, I haven't read it or anything. It just seems like we're skipping the part about the kid, adventures as a kid. This is the darndest thing I'd seen in a while. Who turns young boys loose like that? Well, apparently Jack and his wife. Craziness. I just thought it was an interesting story, something not so heavy of a topic, and so I'm bringing it to you. I hate to ask you this, but they say if you don't ask, it doesn't work. I don't know. I don't like asking for nothing. But if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get notifications when a new video pops up if you haven't already. I do thank you for watching. Your comments are always welcome. You can put them in the little doobly-doo down there. Always read them. And thank you for your time. I do appreciate you. I will see you next time.